I never thought I'd become the kind of person who destroys the one who loves me most. Maya, you have to come to brunch on Sunday, Veronica said, her perfectly manicured nails tapping against her phone screen. Chelsea's bringing her new boyfriend. Apparently, he just bought her that BMW she's been posting about. I glanced at Daniel across our small living room. He was grading papers in his favorite worn sweater, the navy one with the hole near the collar that he refused to throw away. Sounds fun, I said, forcing enthusiasm into my voice. Bring Daniel if you want, Veronica added, though her tone suggested. She hoped I wouldn't. After I hung up, Daniel looked up. You don't have to drag me to these things, you know? I can tell your friends don't really like having me around. Don't be silly, I lied. They love you, but he was right. Somewhere between my promotion to senior marketing manager and my deepening friendship with Veronica's circle, I'd started seeing my husband differently. Veronica lived in a penthouse downtown with her investment banker husband. Chelsea drove luxury cars paid for by wealthy boyfriends. And me? I came home to a 2-bedroom apartment and a husband who made $48,000 teaching 7th grade English. Did you remember we're having dinner with my parents this weekend? Daniel asked. I can't. Veronica's brunch thing. Maya, you've canceled on my parents 3 times this month. Well, maybe if they didn't live so far out in the suburbs, they live 40 minutes away. I didn't respond. I just scrolled through Instagram, looking at Veronica's latest post from her vacation in Santor. I doubt it started small. Little comments at brunch about Daniel's wardrobe. Jokes about how he didn't understand fine dining because he preferred cooking at home. Laughter when I mentioned he'd rather read on Friday nights than go clubbing. Your husband sounds so domestic, Chelsea had said once, and everyone giggled. I laughed too. I didn't realize I was building a cage around my marriage, one joke at a time. You look beautiful, Daniel said as I checked my reflection one last time. Thanks, I muttered, adjusting my dress. Let's go. We're already late for Veronica's birthday. Dinner. The restaurant was exactly the kind of place Veronica loved, overpriced, dimly lit with a wine list thicker than most novels. Daniel had come straight from parent-teacher conferences, still wearing his blazer with the worn elbows. Daniel, still rocking that vintage professor look, I see, Veronica said, air-kissing him. The table laughed out my cheeks burned. He came straight from work. Of course he did. So dedicated, Veronica smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. We sat down and I immediately reached for my wine glass. Chelsea was showing off her new bracelet. Amber was quiet as usual, and Veronica was holding court about her upcoming trip to Paris. So Maya, Chelsea said loudly, be honest with us. Do you ever regret marrying so young? Like, didn't you ever? Wonder what else was out there. The table went quiet. All eyes turned to me. I should have defended him. I should have said that marrying Daniel was the best decision I'd ever made. Instead, I took a long sip of wine and heard myself say, sometimes I think Daniel was the worst decision of my life. Silence. Then laughter loud, approving laughter. Everyone except Amber, who looked down at her plate. And Daniel. God, the look on his face, like I'd physically struck him. Excuse me, he said quietly, standing up. I need to use the restroom. Oh, come on, Daniel, we're just joking around, Veronica called after him. Asterisk, but he was already gone. He's so sensitive, Chelsea said, rolling her eyes. Tell me about it, I replied, finishing my wine. He didn't come back for 20 minutes. When he did, his eyes were red, but no one seemed to notice or care. On the drive home, Daniel stared out the window. Are you seriously going to be upset about a joke? I asked. Was it a joke, Maya? Of course it was. It didn't sound like one. I didn't answer. I told myself he was being too dramatic, too sensitive. I had no idea I'd just shattered something irreparable. Daniel barely spoke to me for 3 days. I tried to pretend everything was normal, but he moved through our apartment like a ghost. He made his coffee in silence. He gritted papers on the couch instead of in bed beside me. He left for work before I woke up. On the 4th morning, I finally confronted him. Why are you being so dramatic about this? He looked up from his coffee, and I saw something in his eyes I'd never seen before. Exhaustion. Defeat. Maya, do you even love me anymore? The question hung in the air like smoke. I wanted to say yes immediately, but the word caught in my throat. Of course I do. I finally managed. It sounded hollow even to my ears. He nodded slowly, like he confirmed something he already knew. Okay, he whispered. Just okay. That night, I heard him crying softly in the shower. I stood outside the bathroom door, my hand raised to knock, but I couldn't move. Couldn't find the words. My phone buzzed. Marcus. What are you doing to that man, Maya? My brother demanded. What are you talking about? Daniel reached out to me. He's never done that before. He asked if I thought he was ... holding me back. That's between me and my husband, Marcus. You're destroying him. Whatever you're doing, stop it. I hung up, angry. Angry at Marcus for butting in. Angry at Daniel for involving my family. Angry at everyone for making me feel like the villain in my own story. 2 weeks later, I was at Chelsea's apartment for cocktails. Remember that dinner? Veronica said, pouring herself another glass of Prosecco. When Maya called Daniel her worst decision, that was iconic. Oh my God, I'm still laughing about that, Chelsea said. Someone, I think it was Amber, had started recording for Instagram stories. Tell the story again, Maya, Veronica urged. I was 3 drinks in, feeling loose and reckless. Okay, so we're at this fancy restaurant, right? And Chelsea asks if I regret marrying young. And I literally said right in front of everyone that marrying Daniel was my worst decision. I mimicked his hurt expression, my voice mocking. He looked like a kicked puppy. Just got up and practically ran to the bathroom. Everyone laughed. Even Amber cracked a smile. That's brutal, Chelsea said, still recording. I love it. The video got posted that night. By morning, it had 50,000 views. By noon, 100,000. The comments poured in. This is so cruel, WTF. That poor man deserves better. Imagine being married to this woman. Someone find this husband and tell him to run. But some people were on my side. She's just being honest, Lamau. At least she's real about it. Screenshots spread to Facebook, then Twitter. Someone found Daniel's school profile and started a thread. This poor middle school teacher's wife just publicly humiliated him. I was horrified. I called Chelsea, demanding she take it down. It's too late, Maya. It's everywhere now. Besides, it's not that serious. People will forget in a week. But they didn't forget. I spent the entire day trying to do damage control. But the internet had decided I was a monster. When I got home that night, ready to apologize, ready to explain. It was just a joke blown out of proportion. Daniel wasn't there. Just a note on the kitchen counter in his careful handwriting. I'm staying at my mom's for a while. I need to think about whether I can keep doing this. I woke up to 17 missed calls, * Marcus. Daniel's mother, Linda, my parents, even my boss. Maya, I need to see you in my office, my boss said when I arrived at work. HR wants to discuss something. I sat across from her, my stomach in knots. A video of you has been circulating online. It's single quotes s ... concerning. It reflects poorly on the company. It was taken out of context. Maya, I'm not here to judge your personal life. But we need you to understand that your conduct outside of work still represents this organization. I left her office humiliated when I finally worked up the courage to call Linda. She answered on the first ring. Maya, Linda, I'm so sorry. The video, it wasn't. Why? She interrupted. Her voice was quiet, which somehow made it worse. Maya, I raised my son to respect women, to love deeply, to be a good husband. For 5 years, he's done nothing but adore you. And you humiliated him in front of the world. Why? I had no answer. He deserves better than this, she continued. And if you can't see what you have, then maybe you don't deserve him at all. She hung up. I started losing people. My colleague Jennifer stopped eating lunch with me. My yoga instructor gave me cold looks. Even strangers at the grocery store recognized me, whispering and pointing. Meanwhile, Daniel wouldn't see me. He'd moved his clothes out while I was at work. The apartment felt massive and empty. I called him every night, leaving voicemails that started as apologies and ended as desperate pleas. Daniel, please, I'm so sorry. Just talk to me. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Please come home. We can fix this. He never called back. I need to tell you something, Marcus said when he came over one evening. And you're not going to like it. What now? Daniel's not alone. His colleague, Sarah, she teaches art at his school. She's been checking on him. My blood ran cold. What do you mean checking on him? They had coffee, then lunch. She saw the video and reached out. Is something going on between them? No, Maya, she's just being a friend. Which is more than you've been to him. After Marcus left, I did something I'm not proud of. I stalked Sarah's social media like a madwoman. She was pretty. Really pretty. Her profile was filled with photos of art projects, volunteer work at animal shelters, inspirational quotes about kindness and authenticity. She was everything I'd stopped. Then I saw it. A photo of Daniel and Sarah with a group of teachers at a school fundraiser. He was smiling, really smiling in a way I hadn't seen in months. The caption read, "Surrounded by people who lift you up." It felt like a knife to my chest. I wanted to scream that I was his wife, that he belonged with me. But the truth settled over me like cold water. I'd pushed him away so thoroughly, but he'd found warmth elsewhere. She volunteers at animal shelters. I muttered to my empty apartment. Of course she does. I poured myself another glass of wine and scrolled through more photos, torturing myself with images of Daniel looking happy without me. Desperate and spiraling, I called Veronica. Can we meet? I really need to talk. We met at her favorite coffee shop, the kind where a latte costs $8. So Daniel's still being dramatic? She asked, barely looking up from her phone. Veronica, my marriage is falling apart. Honestly, Maya, maybe this is for the best. She finally looked at me. Daniel was always kind of beneath you, you know? Now you can upgrade. I stared at her. Upgrade? He's my husband. Was he though? Or was he just ... There, come on, Maya. You're successful, beautiful, ambitious. You could do so much better than a middle school teacher. Something in me snapped. You're toxic, I said. You've always been toxic. You've never wanted me to be happy. She laughed. I'm toxic? You're the one who destroyed your marriage on camera, honey. Don't blame me for your choices. She was right. I had made every choice that led to this moment. I left the coffee shop and went home. That night, my phone rang. James, Veronica's husband. Maya? I hope you don't mind me calling. James? I need to tell you something about Veronica. She's been cheating on me for months. Our perfect life? It's all fake. And she specifically encouraged you to mock Daniel because she couldn't stand seeing someone in a genuine, loving relationship. What? She's miserable, Maya, and she wanted you to be miserable too. Don't let her pull you down any further. After we hung up, I blocked Veronica's number, then Chelsea's. Then everyone from that toxic circle, I'd lost what actually mattered. While chasing their approval, 6 weeks after the viral video, a courier knocked on my door. I signed for the envelope with shaking hands. Even before I opened it, I knew. Divorce papers. I collapsed on the floor, the document sliding from my grip. There was a letter attached, written in Daniel's careful teacher's handwriting. Maya, I've spent 5 years trying to be enough for you. I cooked your favorite meals, remembered your coffee order, supported every career move, and loved you through your worst days. But at some point, I realized I was drowning while you stood on the shore, laughing with your friends. You didn't just mock me once, you mocked me constantly. And that viral moment was just the first time the world saw it. I deserve someone who's proud to be with me, who doesn't see me as a failure because I chose a career helping kids instead of chasing money. I hope you find whatever it is you're looking for. But you won't find it with me, I'm done. Daniel, I read it 20 times. Each word was true. Every single one. I'd spent years making him feel small, unworthy, embarrassing, all while he gave me everything he had. I'd been so busy performing for people I didn't even like that I'd forgotten the man who actually loved me. I refused to sign the papers without seeing him face to face. I showed up at his school during lunch break, probably looking unhinged. The principal, Mr. Harrison, tried to turn me away. Mrs. Martinez, this really isn't appropriate. I need to see my husband. Please. Daniel appeared in the hallway. It's okay, Mr. Harrison. I'll talk to her. We sat in an empty classroom across from each other at student desks covered in doodles. I'm sorry, I started, the words tumbling out. I'm so sorry. I was awful. I was cruel. I let those people poison me against you, and I can't lose you, Daniel, please. He looked at me with a sadness that aged him. Maya, do you know what the worst part was? It wasn't the video. It was realizing that you meant it. You do think I'm your worst decision. You're ashamed of me. No, asterisk, let me finish. His voice cracked. I saw how you looked at me when we were around your friends. Like I was someone you had to apologize for. Like my job teaching kids to love. Reading was somehow less valuable than your brother's finance career or your friend's wealth. You stopped seeing me as your partner and started seeing me as a status symbol that didn't shine bright enough. A small girl poked her head in the door. Oh, sorry. She looked at me. Are you Mr. Martinez's wife? He talks about you sometimes. He says you're really smart and pretty. Then she looked at Daniel. Are you okay, Mr. Martinez? You look sad. I'm okay, Emily, he said softly. Go have your lunch. After she left, I broke down completely. I threw away the best thing in my life for people who didn't even really like me. Daniel reached across and squeezed my hand once, a gesture of compassion, not reconciliation. Then don't make that mistake again, just ... not with me. I can't be your lesson, Maya. I need to be someone's choice. I signed the papers 3 days later. The divorce was finalized within 4 months. I moved to a smaller apartment, started therapy with Rebecca, who didn't let me off easy. You can't change the past, Rebecca said during one session. But you can change who you become. Marcus showed me a photo one day, Daniel and Sarah at a beach, his arm around her shoulders, both laughing. It hurt. But I also felt something unexpected, happiness for him. He deserves that. I told Marcus. My career took a hit. I was passed over for promotion. But I stopped caring so much about impressing people who didn't matter. I reconnected with old friends. I volunteered at a literacy program, I volunteered at a literacy program, reading to kids who reminded me of Emily. One Saturday, I ran into them at a farmer's market. My heart stopped. Sarah smiled warmly. Hi, Maya. Hi, I managed. We made awkward small talk about tomatoes and fresh bread. Then Sarah excused herself to look at flowers. You seem better, Daniel said carefully. I'm trying. Therapy, less toxic people. Trying to become someone I'm not ashamed of. He nodded. That's good, Maya, really. There was a long pause. I'm sorry, I said. Not because I want you back. I know that ship has sailed and it should. But because you deserve so much better than how I treated you. You were never my worst decision. You were my best one, and I was too stupid and shallow to see it until it was too late. His eyes got glassy, but he smiled sadly. Thank you for saying that. I hope you find whatever you're looking for. I hope you already found it, I said, glancing at Sarah. He looked over at her and his whole face softened. Yeah, I think I did. Epilogue. The woman in the mirror 1 year after the divorce. I barely recognized the woman I used to be. I still think about Daniel sometimes, wondering if he and Sarah got married. If he's still teaching 7th grade, if he's happy. I hope he is. Learn that karma isn't always about the universe punishing you. Sometimes karma is just the natural consequence of your choices catching up with you. I lost my marriage not because of one viral video, but because of 1,000 small cruelties that led up to it. These days, I'm building a different life, smaller, quieter, more honest. I don't have a husband anymore, but I have integrity I'm slowly earning back. I have friendships based on authenticity, not competition. I have a job that pays the bills, not one that feeds my ego. When I look in the mirror now, I'm learning to face the woman looking back, the one who made terrible choices but is trying every day to do better. Some mistakes can't be undone. Some words can't be taken back, but I'm learning that the only way forward is to acknowledge the damage I've caused and become someone worthy of the second chance I'll never get with Daniel, but might get with myself. The end.